Welcome everyone to this live stream with audio. Thank you for the recurring audience to tell me when Pulse Audio failed again, because 2019 certainly can't reliably start up, or well, actually it was running, so whatever the heck is going on with more than one audio channel, because 2019. Welcome everyone there at home and your receiving devices. Thank you for tuning in, for sharing this fun open source tinkering and all the fun stuff here with us, in case we are live. I hopefully sure we are this time with audio. So in the previous hundreds videos we have done of all the other fun stuff, P3, Sgi Octane, certainly here. I have the Origin 200 here, but it's not the Office, and I actually wanted to take it out of that corner here, but didn't want to scratch the fine living room table and also dust and stuff. And then I figured I need to bridge the Wi-Fi to Ethernet, and yeah, maybe not today. There you see fine stuff of Fun Wireless. But I wanted to share one thing. So actually I have synced the patches with Gentoo again, and that was again such a pain that I wanted to call this out. So I updated, I've compile tested this already yesterday, I think. Yeah, so the point is why T2 is so much more amazing. Yes, our unsuccessful one-man distributions in Gentoo or Debian. And let me explain. And also actually, the last year, I got quite some hate for syncing with the Gentoo patches. But what do you expect? For one decade, I kept maintaining these patches. Then I figured, hey, someone at Gentoo also did this. The patches are actually not too bad. And might have been more tested, because I only tested with Octane. So their patches after a decade ended up a little bit differently, although I think a vast majority of their patches are not even Octane related, but just some Mega driver rewrite, which maybe you should first get it upstream before Mega driver rewriting it, but yeah, whatever. And yeah, you can't hate me for syncing with these patches and even publish, but back to the point in a second. So I even published them nicer than the Gentoo people. I will explain and show you in a minute. And then you hate me for syncing and sharing in the community. Also, I spent not only did I spend a whole month to get this to work before I discovered the Gentoo patches and synced with them, I also fixed audio, because their audio is still broken. They have not in 1 year fixed ALSA audio on the Octane Red 1, although I published it, right? They would literally only copy and pasted it from T2, but somehow, I don't know what. And also I spent a whole week on Hardware Cursor, which is yet not finished. Hardware Cursor works on the Impact, but just not the colors, because getting the colors in the color lookup table there in the CLUT of whatever the name was in some XMAP something of the Impact was super difficult. So yeah, let me explain why is this so much more amazing. So okay, I showed you many times, this is of course our T2 sources. Which, yeah, this is also the patches, and maybe I should go here. Yes, this is of course Tmux of previous Tmux and screen video fame, all the stuff that gets us excited here. And yes, this is cool vintage retro terminal, before someone asks. Yes, cool vintage retro terminal stuff of amazing pixel goodness here, of keeping the pixel shaders warm and fuzzy pixel shading here, all the amazing CRT effects. So in a T2 package, like let's take our amazing unsuccessful exact image here. We don't have too much, I guess. Didn't even look in there. Okay, some cross patch tweaking, and then actually some U. Why do I have here some U in patch? Anyway, that's not the point. Actually, there's another. Okay, I probably should check what I did there. Need to get my own upstream. Probably there is some reason for whatever. Maybe this was a hotfix, and I have already. Maybe I imported a hotfix. Anyway, case in point, the biggest point is the T2, also best with our typo, that this is the T2 package description. Most of the stuff is even irrelevant. The text here is only for a human to maybe read it. So copyright stuff, maybe we even shorten copyright stuff soon. This is only text for the installer or web package view. You can ignore author, maintainer, yeah, me, license. So most of the stuff is not even used by the build process. The only thing used by the build process is here actually the priority in which cross and static order for some static dependency sorting, and cross and native and toolchain and what. So compilers would be stage 0 for bootstrapping, and other packages are just like this. You can have code here, like this is only some hotfix. I need to keep my own sources cleaner, so this is only some, yeah, okay, let's have permissive set for now. And this is a source download. So you've seen in all the previous videos. If not, you can watch all the hundreds of them. That would be amazing. You can also, by the way, fun fact, if you want to support me, just leave them in a loop running the whole day or somewhere on a corner or window shopping shelves there of your neighbors to see and stuff. This is everything, right? The T2 package system extracts this, looks if there's a makefile configure, does the appropriate stuff automatically with all this kind of prefix, libdir of all this scripted automated stuff. And only if you need to modify this, here is some either code here or in the conf file. So most packages don't even have a conf file. Fair enough, this has a little bit cross guidance for now, like just disable Swig and perf for now because cross compiling stuff is. So even in this package, nearly nothing. And actually, a fun fact, I could clear this even up to make this even more compiled. Anyway, that is not the point. So nearly nothing. And even if you would have patches, so patches, you do not need to write any code. You just drop a patch in there and it auto applies and profit. Well, except nobody pays me for that, but kind of profit, right? And now let's take a look in, first of all, maybe here's a MIPS package that is a very special MIPS kernel for the IP30 stuff, or potentially I probably rename this to just Linux MIPS, but that's something else. And here, okay, tons of patches because all the Octane stuff that is not upstream. And also, yes, this is everything what the Gentoo patches are. So initially this was different. This was probably mostly only 2 patches of what Skylark or Stanislav, what his name is, from who reverse engineered all this stuff in 2005, 2006. But the Gentoo people split this also. I think a lot of this stuff is not even Octane specific. So rename files, it's just like, yeah, we clean up some stuff. So most of the stuff not even needed per se. I only have this in here because the Gentoo MIPS people worked on this, and to have this, if I don't have this in here, the Octane patches synced with them doesn't apply. So only for that reason, otherwise I wouldn't even care too much. But you see everything here is nicely sorted and published and even versioned, right? So as we unlock, if we unlock here the Octane support, we have here that, and we get also, yes, a new certificate. So that was in 2018 when I recreated this. Previously there was some other history, certainly here as we unlock, of general history fame. Also somehow network is a little bit laggy. Let's hope we don't have too many drop frames, 0 drop frames. So this package exists since 2005, just as I said. These are the original Skylark, I think, Stanislav patches. So these are his original 2614 IO3 of when he reverse engineered this original. So I was with him one on the forefront of actually testing this, and even back in the day, I multiple times said back in the day it was not stable for me, right? I could barely boot this stuff. I have no idea why it worked more for him. Maybe compiler, maybe random moon luck or whatever. I even suspected my hardware is defect. I even got a second system board that was as unstable as the first. And then for many years sometimes I've serviced it a little bit. Yeah, also then there was a new patch from Stanislav, and you see nice history. You can diff this also, we can diff this now. So this is also rediffing, rebasing, meaning this is, yeah, the fun stuff. Linux kernel changes so massively because random changes, and then we need to spend a day or week to rediffing this, diff stat. So these are all the changes imported from Gentoo, synced with Gentoo, and already fixed up a little bit for audio and indiness. And my point is, you can nicely see this, right? You see here what is changed here. You see all the different files. You have a history. This is mostly a little bit of noise, not so much to see, just a little bit. Amazing stuff, right? At least I would say. Leave me in the comments below if you find this amazing. So let's look at the almighty Gentoo people, and they probably trigger some people, and maybe some people unsubscribe, but that's life. I can sell my commercial software, and anyway. So let's take a look. They have here this amazing e-builds in their Gentoo e-build stuff repository, and they have a couple of different versions. That is amazing. So they have more choice than we have only in one trunk, one version. In my opinion, you don't really need this different e-builds, but actually in Rock Linux we had the idea of maybe supporting this. Well, in T2 you could always SVN check out an older revision if you wanted to build last month's Sgi Octane kernel SVN up 1 month ago, and there you have it. But if you look into this now, first of all, you don't have a nice history, right? So if you click on something of this sort here, of log, you do not get like a whole history of everything, which by the way also often is super slow, whatever. But I checked this with, this, you see the internet in 2019. This is actually slightly, the log is also, you see this Git is faster than log. But I checked this, let's try to do this again. You don't get a log. So they basically created a new file and you lose all the history, which in my opinion is totally annoying. If you want to go back and check something, you don't have all the changes, right? Yeah, you see, if this is correct, I don't know, maybe allegedly, apparently update to more recent versions, but that's everything. You don't have any more history, which is already the first not as amazing thing. Then you click into this. This is also the only thing they have here, right? They have no, you see, they don't have the sources in here, right? So not only can I not click on there and review it and scroll over this, like in our unsuccessful T2 stuff, for example, when we go here in packages, Linux IP30, even here in our amazing web view, all the patches, and if you want to see the audio driver, then file not found. Oops, why is that? Right, I think here was something in, what was it? I checked this once. This was T2 trunk packages, MIPS only live in on this channel. I think this was something with linking, something was too esoteric with whatever is not, or did I, right. Okay, no, this actually works. I just have not updated the web view. The web view only updates. I just, like last night, committed here a cleanup of renaming the files. This is why they do not have the version number in anymore, because the last time I synced with Gentoo they had 4.12 here, and because I want this file names more usable, I removed the 4.12 in there, because otherwise I would need to rename them, and it doesn't make sense to each time I sync them to rename them to 4.18. This is why this didn't compute here. If you click here on this, then you see this as I wanted it to load. There is an audio driver fixed by me to actually work, because in Gentoo it doesn't work. In my opinion, how you want to have, you want this, and I also don't understand with Gentoo and Debian why they do this stuff so strange, because I as a developer, I would crazy. If I see this already, I get already dismotivated and continue with real life. So how do they do this? If you click on this, so first of all, in my opinion, so similar variable assignments, but it's more hard-coded. Okay, they have here a little bit more architecture selection. If IP30, IP27, okay, fine. Although I would argue it would also be cool to have, well, actually they have here one kernel. In T2 we could have something similar with our configuration, but yeah, it's too appointed, but whatever. So, okay, totally, because super more user-friendly, lots of warnings and errors and whatever. Okay, fine. However, you will see here are still not the sources, right? And somehow they extract here the sources with MIPS patches, workdir, MIPS patches, and S equals also amazing variable names, right? Well, better than B index of exact image. Here they have S for sources or so, I guess. Amazing readable stuff. Of course, if you do this all day, then it's totally readable. But anyway, so they have here something Linux, OK4, wherever that is coming from. Okay, some inherit stuff, some class inherit stuff of evil stuff, fine. Here's some variables like we similar would have to in T2. Okay, here homepage, okay, something experimental, depends, okay, on patches, whatever. But yeah, it takes quite some time. So now we are getting some Linux, okay, sources. So, oh, they get the sources from some mirror. How super convenient. Gentoo, MIPS Git, okay, so they, something of MIPS Git, something of Git date and PN base cave kernel version patches. What the heck? Okay, so the sources are not in here, and this is also a total disconnect of the actual sources and the additional sources, and the additional sources are totally not versioned, which is in my opinion total no-go if working like professionals on this kind of stuff. So where do we get this file from? Metadata to our, or no, not like it, there's some fine XML stuff additionally too, because why not XML manifest? Then it was, it's okay, fine manifest, yay, we get here some MIPS sources. of, okay, this is probably what we want. And yeah, an amazing tarball, except compressed exactly what you want when you're working with sources. And so if we want to sync this now, we, at least Gentoo's pages load, what do you mean with Gentoo's pages load? So now it's not versioned, it's not immediately handy, and we do not even know where we get this from. So then we can start asking Google. We would need to have their source mirror of wherever it's coming from, so we would need to study much more. Okay, we see here something, build root, something, dist files, here is something. This files also everything in one directory, because in T2 we at least split this stuff on our mirror, which on our mirror are the original unmodified files from the upstream releases, like GCC-9 something tarball, right? So MIPS sources and 18, so okay, here we have it. But now we can extract them, download them, extract them, and then we get to this fine stuff here. And in my opinion, this is really not, you don't have this version, you don't have this handily accessible. For me, already the showstopper is it's not version, it's not together with the other stuff. And yes, this is relatively large, but they also do this for smaller packages, right? And the Debian people do it a little bit similar. So also, by the way, this is a little bit strange that I have no insight. So if you commit something at Gentoo, you somehow need to publish it somehow on their mirrors first, somehow. So you need some special access there also. And then you edit it also in the sources, where I would like to have everything in the sources, right? And as you see, not only at us it is readily available, we also have a history, right? And by the way, I really wish after so many decades, at least I queried the Linux MIPS maintainer and say, hey, look, how can we get this upstream? Not really sure if the Gentoo people, this is, yeah, people carry this around. By the way, this is here some meta driver, how, not log, I wanted to diff this. Yeah, not even much changed here. But you see already from the diff stat, it's not even if you version this that it would become too large, because these changes are not the greatest. And you see, this includes, due to previously I only had Skylarks patches here, which were way smaller. I also don't like it the most at Gentoo that everything is mixed together. I only synced up with them because I'm tired of just rebasing it myself, because as you've seen, it takes so much time. Even P3, you rebase, it doesn't work because of all the recurring kernel API changes. So this is also some IP27 mega driver update, which I also wonder why is this not since decades upstream, but yeah, probably we need to do this eventually. Debian does it similarly, and I really don't understand. So maybe they have MIPS kernel certainly somewhere. I didn't find it instantly. Certainly at Debian they don't have IP30 Sgi Octane support, but certainly something they have. On this Debian listing, you don't even directly see where the stuff is coming from, except nowadays they have, since last year, I think this is relatively new, a year ago or so, they didn't even have it as amazing as this. Where did I click earlier? I clicked on your right. This Git, something didn't load for me earlier. Oh, now something loads. This is also the whole sources. So this is also strange that they imported my whole sources here, I think. All right, here's the Debian file. Here, probably this is why I don't know, I found it. So they put this Debian control file stuff into the package. And this I also find super annoying, this way to maintain it, because this way you don't have it. I don't know how they internally version this nowadays, but it is certainly also, as you see, they have this here completely, the whole source in something, Git whatever. This is also totally huge, right? This is much larger than the whole Gentoo patches, because it's the whole source, right? And I would not even, for all the Firefox, Chrome, Linux kernel, the gigabyte of sources, at least it looks here right now, certainly. Anyway, this are my sources anyway. And then they add here this Debian control files straight into the sources, which historically they also distribute as tarball pluses control file stuff. So their stuff here is much more humongous, totally monstrous. All their control file and additional docs and install and whatnot stuff. This is why I liked Rock Linux 20 years ago, and I still like it. It's so nicely sorted, so minimal code. Most of the stuff is building automatically. And you see this here in some download, like, where did I click here? Here. So here's this versioned links, and here is like use description, something, copyright, and here is control file stuff. So not only do you in Debian and Gentoo for each package need to write so much more code, hard code here, all this stuff like in a make file, as you see. So a little bit inconvenient, in my opinion, to package all the packages as make files. But leave me in the comments below if you find this amazing. So binary, get, org, override, whatever amazing stuff, how to run, configure. As you see, people migrate away from make files to Meson and CMake and all the other fun stuff, and then people package root packages in make files. And again, it looks like they recently changed this a little bit. What they usually do, but source code. So usually they have two tarballs for a package, like original and a tarball similar to the Gentoo one that is adding all this stuff. Maybe they changed this in the meantime to this Git stuff. I'm not really sure. As you see, it's not as nicely visible, but you have seen here from browsing the source code how that works. So web navigation already so complex that I'm actually not too motivated to look further into that. Yeah, I hope this is interesting in some way or another. This is personally why I would never, except I need to write my own microkernel because stability and security, I would not go to any of those other Linux distributions. As unsuccessful and one-man as T2 is, at least it works for me and is vanilla, simple, streamlined, clean, nicely packaged and versioned. And then people ask me, why do we still use Subversion? Well, because when we started this, which would even be SVN log revision 1, when we started this, there is no revision 1 of that. Yeah, thank you very much. Is here. So there is first revision 1 2003. This was way before Git even existed. Linux was using Bitkeeper back in the day, this commercial binary only version control system, and other people use CVS. Subversion was brand new. We were using this with version 0.19 or 2023. We were likely one of the largest projects there with Rock Linux when we adopted Subversion. And why change a running system? I'm so used, it's handy, it's just like you type something, it works. And this is why I'm right now still using it. But again, if we get 10, 20, 100 new subscribers, then we could switch to Git, but works for me. And certainly, in my opinion, it's nice to have such a nice version files and history. And this is why I always say for cross-compilation and Rosetta Stone kind of manual and documentation how to actually compile and cross-compile stuff, one of the most readable ways, hopefully, to keep the stuff. Although the MIPS Linux IP30 package here is one of the largest. How large is it even? DU/CSH from 1.6 megabytes? Seriously? Actually, the patches are LSH, size sorted, not reverse. Yeah, 470. So also, okay, in the meantime, this one patch is also new, this all restore SGI firmware. This is probably, is this SVNST? Yeah, not yet versioned. It's this. And this is only restoring the SGI firmware here, built-in firmware for the QLogic. So this is from Gentoo stuff. TG what? TG3? TG2? What? This is most likely, and also QLogic. I guess I've not yet checked this. I guess they have done this to have SCSI and stuff without initRD maybe, or actually this is a fun point that we actually need to copy firmware to the initRD. We are not doing that. So there you see how all the fine points and details can keep you busy. So no idea why they've done this. Probably booting without initRD or not copying firmware to the initRD, which probably, fun fact, we also need to do next. I've also not yet test booted this. The last time I checked this IP30 kernel, which is also why I most likely will rename it to Linux MIPS in T2. It was booting on the IP27 Origin 200, of course configured properly in the config, which I might or might not have. MIPS 64. What do we have in changes here? Config.in, no. Linux conf and 4 years. This is the only thing, as you see, that I tweaked, and with probably just this one change I had this otherwise patched for Octane IP30 also running on Origin. There you see the same drama as with ARM, that you need a very specific kernel. If I would be the kernel architect, I would have, again, not only microkernel, but made it so like I need to check actually loader addresses if they are loaded as different addresses or some other fun stuff not checked recently. Another thing is that some drivers are, if IP27 or Octane, then slightly different, like slightly different PCI and other stuff, or other like impact graphics. And of course you could have done this if you like wanted code all of this dynamically, like one kernel for both. Maybe I need to check with loader addresses and other fun stuff. But if all the loader addresses and other binary format and whatever are the same, which again need to check, then you could have made this one kernel and boot on both. A little bit annoying there, what only the ARM people in Linux catch up recently with device trees. But otherwise, with also a microkernel and some hardware abstraction layer, you could, even if the loader addresses and such are a little bit different, you could have a very small hardware abstraction layer with a microkernel for IP27 and one for IP30, and still all the drivers be the same, and just get other addresses slightly different, dynamic, if there was even the impact in Origin, whatever, wherever the impact graphic was also in except Octane impact, whatever. Anyway, that was maybe the Origin, but I don't know. Just a little bit of different, even I see this in the Xorg driver, even a little bit stupid from SGI in my opinion, that the impact on whatever other, this was actually, we should fact check that, can't memorize all this fun stuff. SGI impact graphics, also can we write enter in, is it Indigo 2 apparently, maybe. Yeah, maybe I take a look into this another day, because as I've gotten an IP27 Origin 200 donated. If you want to see me tomorrow plugging all the cables in serial console and Ethernet forwarding and test booting this, let me know. Then what is this blasphemy title? Yeah, welcome. Thank you for this shout out, Christian. Gentoo Linux, leave me in the comments below why you think your kind of packaging is so much more amazing. In my opinion, it's totally cumbersome, not very developer friendly. I would not even, as a developer, software developer, I would never package and maintain my software in the form of tarballs, a totally unversioned way. And this is of course hilarious. I've seen companies, even security companies in the United States, a decade ago, carrying changes like, do you have the latest version? Then someone comes with a USB thumb drive, right? It's on here, like, do you not have a version control system? No, he has the latest version. And this is, I'm not making this up, this is even, I've seen this so often, even today, not everyone is on a version control system, although probably with Git everyone. But again, Git, I'm not even the greatest fan of Git, but probably not get me started on that. So honestly, if you take all your Gentooism and Debian fanboyism away, having this in a tarball on a mirror, unversioned, is literally like carrying your unversioned zipped sources on a thumb drive from one PC to another, even if it's over your mirror system. But yeah, probably you find plenty of reasons why this is more amazing. Also, I said this again, T2 much more automated, there much more code, also our stuff is versioned and not hidden on some download mirror sources. Also, this stuff is going away, right? You want the old sources of a year or two ago to check what changed. Yes, and they are gone on the mirror, right? Disappeared there in dev null data nirvana. Then just joking with Rene, welcome anyone on Gentoo as a server is a joke. And I'm totally aware that VR is the most unsuccessful one-man distribution, which consists of more than one person. Just a recurring Debian running gag. But I hope you enjoyed this anyway, and I have nothing against you using Debian, Gentoo, certainly amazing for whatever. And Debian certainly amazing for their stable release maintenance, although I would personally get psychopathic with this kind of tarball or data control management stuff. And this is also the difference why I can, as nearly unsuccessful one-man guy, run 3,000 something packages all over all architectures. And imagine if I would do this full-time, then we would really be amazing. Maybe I should actually think about this, although as you have seen, nobody wants to pay for this. So I hope you learned something. If you want to see the origin, which by the way, fun fact, I can carry as saying goodbye to the camera, and then the family is already waiting for me to finally see me. Yeah, and then just for the views, I scratched the table, just what I did not want it to do, just by what a fail. So then let's better share, like and subscribe this video, only carrying it into the camera and then scratching the table of what I just mentioned I did not want it to do. Anyway, leave me in the comments below if you want to see this tomorrow booting, and as usual not really sure in what states the Gentoo patches are. Also, I based this on, I had to tweak them also a little bit, they did not even apply because of course I would base this on svndi Linux IP30, this is also the wrong directory, package MIPS Linux IP30 svndiv desk. I, of course, previously based this and still base this on the stable releases of this Linux MIPS tree, which I, by the way, also don't quite understand. Why is there still such a huge Linux MIPS tree? So much stuff in Linux MIPS Git that is not in vanilla mainstream. But yeah, whatever. And this did not apply. The Gentoo patches did not apply to this. So as you've seen, they even used here some Git snapshot here. So that would be MIPS Git, yeah, with some date, like to, so yeah, I also don't quite understand why they desperately need to use this one Git snapshot and not some more stable release. But yeah. So yeah, due to, I had to patch there in some early Linux PCI enablement, actually not too sure if that would actually work, or if it would, most likely with my luck with syncing and working with other people, most likely it will just crash and burn as per usual when I do this kind of stuff. Yeah, today it's late with all this unpaid, unsuccessful exact image patching and reading and writing emails to people who argue for a 1 or 2 hour job that it should just work or whatever. Anyway, I hope you learned something how other distribution package their stuff. As you see, totally amazing. And yeah, looking forward to more fun stuff like booting this and Also more Sgi IRIX stuff might be coming, as I said in the previous video. People ask if I would be maybe interested in taking on a USB stick there, so maybe that is coming. First I need this PCI shoehorn or a cage that is either an XIO module, the shoehorn XIO module, which by the way also fun fact I can actually show, because why not? So that is SGI PCI shoehorn. That one, that is a, is it this anyway, like that? Probably here. Oops. Yeah, also people sell this for good money everywhere, so, but this is not the most visible. Anyway, it's an XIO module, like, yeah, let's just open that, but whatever. And the other thing is, so it's an XIO module for the crossbar switch there on the back of the this compression connector there in PCI bridge that I don't have. It's an expensive optional extra that certainly few people had. And the other thing would be a shoebox. Also, the names are a little bit hilarious. Somehow the vintage Unix names always a little bit, yeah. Also, this is of course only like internal code names or slang names. Or not sure if actually it looks like maybe they have used this in official documentation, or, but do we even still live stream? Here, 0 frames. The shoebox goes here, the cage like that. So the only benefit, you can plug in there like 3 cards. The drawback is if you plug this in, then as far as I heard, I never had one, but the fan automatically goes into high power mode. It's like then even louder, it's already loud. So the fan I think only has 2 modes, like massive mode and supermassive hyperventilation mode. And as soon as the firmware detects the shoebox, it goes into really hyperventilation mode. You can disable this in IRIX or the boot from Zo, but of course for safety reasons, energy consumption, power supply, cooling reasons you shouldn't touch that, probably, most likely. But the reason I don't like the shoebox the most is because it stands out so much. The Octane is very massive, and I would actually prefer the more integrated XIO module solution there. I hope they work the same, I don't know, I never had them. But of course compatibility not super extremely amazing. Some PCI compatibility glitches and not everything works just amazingly anyway. So, Greg writes, give me a second and I give you a monolithic patch between vanilla kernel and the others. What do you mean by that? Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Leave me in the comments below if you agree or disagree, what you think about this, and hope to see you soon for all the more amazing content. As per usual, leave me in the comments below what you like the most as amazing content. Do you even want to see the origin? And the Graver checked out the sources with patches and all. So the patches are already extracted, right? I redived some a little bit and tweaked my RUT one because the audio doesn't even work right. They were even not motivated enough to import my audio fixes, because why should they? I have this already, but the only thing is I don't even want to link to their very specific snapshot. I would rather work with more vanilla upstream. So there you see also the mindset, right? The Gentoo people is like, yeah, we just use some random snapshot and here we take it. Like, where is it? Here. It's like, yeah, whatever. Let's just use this random snapshot for whatever reason, and put a huge blob there that has all the rest, and fine-grained versioning here of wherever I have that, like here, and using more. I also, with the previous patch, I use the official Linux MIPS snapshot, because why should I not? Anyway, hope that gives you some work inspiration of how to work with sources and or how not to work with sources. And as usual, leave me comments what you think about this, even if you find it totally amazing, or if not. Let's see how many people hated on this and disliked it already. Let's click here on videos, and then anyway, don't forget to leave me and like it. give it a like if you want me to power up the Origin 200. Or now, after I scratch the table here, my wife should not see this. Damn it! Ah, what a fail! Only for the camera views, not lifting. Most amazing. invested. Where do we even have hello, can we load YouTube? Somehow not the most snappy loading here. As usual, when we are done with a live stream, we have the most views. Old wired hardware is always fun to watch. Already gave you a thumbs up at the moment stream started. That is very cool. Thank you also for the thumbs up on the other stream. Somehow YouTube doesn't want to load for me right now. Let's click on view channel. Let's see how many likes. Hey, 10 likes, amazing stuff. Yeah, wish to do it now, but my family already complains that we live stream today too much, and did work on a Saturday for free, for nothing, because open source. I hope to see you soon and tuning back in for the next live stream to come.